You're listening to Something Cheeky, a collection of podcasts where two sisters discuss books, TV, and movies with just enough irreverence and far too many pop culture references. Welcome to Something Cheeky, the Vikings edition. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rosanna.
In this episode, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 2 of the History Channel series. While I've watched the whole series, Rosanna has only watched up to what we're covering today. So today we're talking about the Wrath of Northmen episode, where Rollo gets skeevier, Ragnar discovers England, and Floki gleefully burns down a monastery. Rosanna, what was your reaction to this episode?
Okay, Nikki, my reaction to this episode was mixed.
Okay.
So one of the things in this episode we found out the wife of the Earl is called Siggy.
Yes.
I thought that was an interesting name that I've never heard of before. I expected at some point there was going to be rape in this series,
yeah.
which I hate. So I actually kind of fast forwarded that part a little bit, even though it was very short and it wasn't very graphic. It just really is uncomfortable to watch. So I just skipped that part a little bit. But it also is like, wow, I thought Rollo was kind of a dirtbag in the last episode.
Yeah.
But now I really hate him. He's awful. I mean,
and it was so rote and seems so casual that obviously he has done this before.
Yeah, he's awful. And he was awful the whole episode. The only time I ever was not disgusted by him was when Ragnar killed the guy on the ship, and Rollo was like, yeah, I support that. He was like giving him support, and I thought that Ragnar kind of needed that. But other than that, he was terrible. I hated him so much in this episode.
So the only time you liked the rapist is when he was applauding a murder? Is that what you're telling me?
When you put it like that.
When I really break it down to what you're saying.
I liked him when he was being a supportive brother.
All right. That sounds so much better.
Let's do it that way. I also, I mean, but other than his section of the episode, I thought it was good. I liked how it moved the story along. I was really surprised that they got to England so quickly. Yeah. Already in this episode. I assumed it was going to take a few episodes. I think it probably would have gotten boring if it took too long, though, so I'm okay with it.
It's true.
But yeah, I was really excited that they got to England. I was really excited that Ragnar was right. So it was a good, I mean, except for the rape part, it was a good episode. It was good for the story, I think. I, of course, really liked Laghcat. I liked the fight between her and Ragnar. I thought that was great. So
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, overall, I liked this episode.
Yeah. Well, it seemed obvious, at least to me, not to Bjorn, of course, that it was never serious.
Of course. Yeah.
Them fighting, especially with the making out in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the vibe I got too.
Did you have a favorite quotation from this episode? So,
I did have a favorite quote. And this one I picked... Usually I pick them... I don't know. I like to pick funny quotes, but this one was not funny. It was... Okay. It was funny. But in a sacrilegious kind of way.
The suspense.
So this is Eric talking in the chapel at the monastery. He says, if this is their god, then he's dead. He's nailed to a cross. And besides that being sacrilegious to Christians, or Christianity in general, it's really interesting, though, the way different religions view each other. That's what I thought was interesting about it. He's like, this person that Christians worship and, follow, to other people just looks like a dead person.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting he said that he couldn't protect his people, like Jesus, because Jesus is dead and he can't help them.
And their gods are alive. Thor and Loki and Odin, all these. To them, they're alive. And so I just thought, besides it being kind of a funny comment, it was also interesting the way you get to see religions, how they view each other. So yeah, that's why I picked that one.
Nice. So let's get right into the action. The episode starts out with the secret meeting, We've got Ragnar and Rollo at Eric's house trying to recruit the different crew members. People seem really reluctant. Mm-hmm. I loved the part where everyone swore on their rings to keep the meeting a secret from the person that gave them the rings.
Yeah.
Just a little ironic there.
Yeah.
And they were really quick to just choose plunder over their loyalty to the Earl.
Yep.
Makes me wonder if they're all really poor, or if they just really like plunder.
Or if they're just tired of going east.
God, yeah.
It's just the same thing over and over again. If there was even a little chance that Ragnar's right, they were willing to go for it.
Well, and there's so much in everything they say about Vikings in this show, where it's all about glory and Valhalla, and so that's a pretty big deal if you can go to a completely new country.
Yeah.
And pillage it.
Yeah.
That's some serious cred for Valhalla.
Yeah. Also, I am disliking the Earl more and more. Every scene he has, I like him less. I mean, I didn't really love him in the beginning anyway, but he's so just contrary and pessimistic, and I'm the boss and you do what I say, and I'm always right and you're never right. He's just a dum-dum. I don't know.
Well, after he finds out about Rollo and his ship, he doesn't seem to care about it. He just wanted to confirm his suspicions. He's like, well, they're never going to come back. They're going to die, and there's no west. There's nothing there. So what was the point in the first place?
I hope, and I guess this is part of the prediction section, but I really hope that doesn't come back to bite their families. That he doesn't go after them and punish them for the men's, disobedience or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have the situation with Siggy, the Earl's wife.
Yes.
Who finally speaks.
Yay!
And says only good things come from watching and waiting, in this really weird way that I didn't realize was flirting until the Earl said something to his underling guy.
Oh, is that what she was doing?
I guess. I don't know. But apparently everyone thought that the guy was flirting with her. And I don't know if it's because of what she said.
Maybe so.
Yeah. It was just a weird line in the first place. I didn't quite understand.
That sounds like entrapment. Hardly seems fair.
What the Earl did was totally entrapment. He's like, hey, you want to sleep with my wife? Okay, I'm going to set that up for you, dude. I'm going to pimp her out.
And then I'm going to have somebody stab you.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oi.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, that was a huge mess.
Yeah.
So we jump back to the farm. Laghcat and Ragnar fight because she wants to go west and he wants her to stay home and take care of the children. And then he jokes, well, I could stay home and watch the children.
Okay, so I have something to say about that too.
I'm sure you do.
So I think that it was kind of supposed to come across as maybe a little bit sexist, that she's the one that needs to stay home and take care of the kids because she's a woman. But I don't think that that's what he was saying. I think he was saying, if we both go and we both die, where will they be? And I think that was more important to him than whether he was a man and she was a woman. I mean, I think those roles are probably part of it. But here's the thing that got me about it, is the beginning of their discussion about that, he was washing clothes with her. They were doing laundry together. So that right there, I mean, how often do you see a man doing laundry, especially in something set in that time period?
That's true.
I really think he sees her as an equal.
Yeah, and he, says she can go instead, and I feel like a big reason that maybe, I don't know if she agreed that she wouldn't go, but a big reason that she kind of let it go was because, I mean, it's his idea to go there in the first place.
I think
it's his thing.
Yeah, I think she wanted to go with him.
Yeah.
Not she wanted to go for herself. She wanted to share it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe they were, I don't know if they were trying to make it seem like it was a sexist thing, but that's not at all what I get from him.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of said that on purpose, recognizing that it was
that it would irritate her.
Yeah.
And that they both know it's not true.
Yeah. Well, he had the best line. I wrote it down because I thought it was so great. Because he said he didn't want her to leave. He said, "What if there is no West? This is the most dangerous and stupid voyage ever."
Yeah, I liked that line too.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Bjorn breaks them up and apparently thinks it is a very serious fight and thinks they're acting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very sweet. It's very protective of them both.
Yeah.
So we jump right back into the Earl's bedroom, where apparently the underling cannot get his clothes off fast enough to get into bed with Siggy. He's like falling over himself. It's so cold, I have to jump in, like stripping down. Doesn't even get his shirt off.
Yeah. No romance.
No! Then Siggy gets some nice punches in, which is lovely. And she spends a lot of time cleaning her hands up afterward.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Were you surprised it was a test?
I was very suspicious.
Okay.
I wasn't... I wouldn't say that I knew for sure that was what was going to happen, but I knew that wasn't all there was to it. I was suspicious.
Now, were you suspicious of it because of the Earl or because of Siggy?
Because of the Earl. I was sort of thinking, and I still think right now, that Siggy does what she's told. So if he told her to do that this is what was going to happen, that she would say, okay. And I still kind of think that that's what happened. I don't think she would have said, oh, let's trick him. I think that was all the Earl. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I'll do whatever you say because you're the Earl. So...
Yeah, I feel like her reaction...
I don't think that she felt bad about smacking the guy around because she was disrespected with him thinking that was going to be okay.
Yeah, that was a big deal. When she got out of bed and she kind of turned away from everyone to, I guess, put herself back together, she had this little flicker of a reaction on her face that made me think she was angry about having to do that.
Yeah.
And then almost immediately turned to the Earl and went down on her knee and comforted him about everything. We have enemies, but we will overcome them.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it was very much an arranged marriage that she got told that this was going to happen, and she does what he tells her to do because he's the boss and her husband. I don't feel like she's probably got a lot of wiggle room.
Probably not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then Olafur, which is his name, you don't need to remember because he immediately gets stabbed and chopped up by axes.
Yeah, that's so gross.
So Siggy reassures the Earl. So I think that she's still unnamed in the actual show, but I saw her name in the closed captions.
That's how I knew it also.
Okay, yeah. But still no one has actually said her name.
Mm-mm. Maybe they're not allowed to. I mean,
like, have no name.
Like, maybe the Earl's allowed to say it, but maybe it would be disrespectful for them to call her by her name. Instead of just Earl's wife or, what's a she-earl?
What is her title? A she-earl? Like a she-bear?
Yeah, what's the she-earl?
I don't know.
Earless? That's not right.
Mrs. Earl? These are all terrible.
Countess. That can't be right. A duke's wife is a duchess. A marquess wife is a marchioness.
Marquess.
The wife of an earl is a countess. But
Weird.
she is usually called lady.
Oh, okay.
Lady, whatever his last name is.
What is his last name? Haraldson. Lady?
Okay, so she's
Unless
lady.
That's his first name, I don't know.
No. That's not his first name.
Okay.
So she's Lady Haraldson.
All right. We have a name.
Yay.
Kind of. So I noticed that the show has not yet passed the Bechdel test.
Okay.
Mainly because there are only 3 female characters so far.
So far.
Yes. Do you know the Bechdel test?
I do.
Yes. So listeners, if you don't know it, the Bechdel test is, it asks whether a work of fiction has at least 2 female characters who are named, who talk to each other about something other than a male. We only have 3 female characters at this point. We've got Siggy, we've got Laghcat, and we've got the daughter, Gita. And none of them, well, only 2 of them have actually spoken to each other so far, Laghcat and Gyda, but it was about weaving, and I'm not going to count that as an actual conversation, because she said, like, move this up, now let it go, and then the rapist wannabe guys came in. So, still nothing. We need, have there even been any female characters in the background? Where are the women?
Were there some at the thing?
Probably, yeah.
Well, and then this episode we also had the daughter of the blacksmith.
Oh, that's right.
So, sort of a woman.
Yeah, no name, though.
And she only got to scream, so...
Yeah, that was... so sad. All right.
Yeah, hasn't passed the test yet. Maybe it will.
Yeah, we need some more women here.
Yes, in many things, apparently.
So many things.
We need more women.
Yes, we really do.
Yeah.
So they're preparing the boat. They're packing it up. Including 2 ravens. At that point, did you know what the ravens were for?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing? It was new to me.
Yeah, it's like a ship thing. They take birds.
Oh.
And then they let them go when they think they're close to land and find out if they come back or not. That's how you know if land is nearby. They'll land on it.
Well, I know that because of this show.
Oh,
but
you didn't know that before?
I didn't.
Yeah. That's a thing. I'm sure I read it
haven't been
somewhere.
on many ships with no GPS, so...
Well, that's a good point.
Or really many ships at all, because I hate ships because they make me really sick.
Yeah, I know from experience that they make you sick.
Nobody needs to be around that.
Well, and the ship that we went on, it was a cruise ship, was as big as a town, so...
And I still got sick.
They probably had GPS.
Yeah. God, I hope so.
We ended up at the places I assumed we were supposed to end up, so...
You assume.
Well, you know what? We could have gotten off and they could have said, oh my gosh, we took a wrong turn. But they'll never know if this is really Sitka or not. So we'll just tell them it is.
It's true. I wouldn't have known. It was a fake pop-up town just for us, so they don't have to actually take us to Alaska.
That sounds like a plot of a TV show or a movie. Just
Is
like
there time
fake towns. Like there should be. It's like they just go up and down a coast. It's only like 7 miles.
Nice.
And they just pop up different towns.
They're really in a giant pool with a blue screen.
It's a Truman show!
They just run pictures of the ocean and far off things.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But if that were the case, I don't think you would have gotten us sick.
I hope not. I would not have paid for that.
So there you go.
So I hope that Vikings don't get seasick, but we don't find out.
That's true.
Most of them seem to have their sea legs.
For how many of them there were, the boat was not very big.
Yeah.
Right? They were all just sort of laying around on each other. And did it have a bottom section? For like...
We didn't see one.
But where did they put the food?
Yeah, they must have had some sort of... What is it called? I keep thinking hull, but that's not it.
A below deck?
Sure, below deck.
I don't know what the word is, but yeah. But
I don't know ship terminology.
Even with that section, it's obviously small and only used for storage because none of them went down there when it was raining.
Mm-hmm.
They put up a tent. So it just seems like a really small... And I don't know how long the journey was because they didn't really say.
Mm-hmm.
But that is very close quarters.
Yes.
So...
Just... Whenever I see things with people in close quarters or desert islands or stuck on a plane or anything, I always wonder about when people go to the bathroom.
Oh.
And there's nowhere to, well, I guess not on a plane, but where you have to go and everyone can see. They just don't care. I don't know.
Well, Vikings, I think, since they're all men, they just go over the side and they're probably all fine with it.
Well, they have to go...
I understand where you're going with this.
Okay.
But even
I guess they can just lean over.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I would think they sit on the edge over the side.
I think we can probably move on because this is not going anywhere good.
I agree with that assessment.
Hey, Floki had a slave. Did you have any idea that was going to happen?
No, not at all. I didn't even know there were slaves.
Yeah, so I guess the Vikings took slaves from places that they captured people.
Which is horrible. And also, Floki, was kind of a little demented-ish this episode. I mean, he was kind of before too, but it took an ugly turn when he was talking about killing the blacksmith's daughter.
Yeah.
If the blacksmith told.
So nonchalant about it and kind of giggly.
Yeah, I didn't think that he was like that kind of bad. Mm-hmm. I thought he was just sort of a silly little, woohoo, I'm going to build a boat. And
harmless?
Yes, and aren't I funny? But he cut off her hair and threatened her, and I don't like that.
And you don't know if he meant it or not, if it was a bluff.
I feel like he meant it.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to, but yeah, I think everybody was just really intense.
Yeah.
And like harsh. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was sad about that.
So the slave brought the water where they all
blew their nose in it.
Yeah, that was disgusting. And then the next one washed their face in that water.
Why would you blow your nose into water? What is this crazy Viking ritual where everybody swirls their snot in a bowl and rubs it on their face? Is this like to a good journey? We'll share snot. It's disgusting.
Oh, that's so gross.
It is so gross. So gross.
Though I was kind of happy when it got to Rollo, when he got some of the water and rubbed it on his beard and hair, and I was like, you get snot hair.
Also, so here's something kind of weird. So Floki went first, right?
Yeah.
So he wiped his face and he blew his nose, but before he blew his nose, he actually put some of the water in his mouth, swished it around, and spit it out. So it's not even just snot that they also got after him, but it was snot and spit. And everybody is okay with this?
We have to really stop talking about these disgusting bodily functions.
Well, they're Vikings, so...
They are. Tough, gross.
They do gross stuff, yeah.
Men. So we've seen a lot of violence in the show already, but we get, as you said, the first sexual brutality when Rollo rapes the slave.
Yep.
I did a little bit of, very minimal Googling on the whole rape and pillage Vikings thing. Mm-hmm. Didn't go too deep.
Good.
But there was one paper in particular. I couldn't read the whole thing. I could only read the abstract because the paper was $50 and I wasn't going to pay that just to find out. But it said, let's see. Some historians dispute the Vikings' rape and pillage image, arguing that exaggeration and distortion in later medieval texts created an image of treacherous and brutal Northmen. So some people think it's just an exaggeration. Then again, rape is been used as a war tactic for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Probably as long as people have been around.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know what to believe on that. I'd like to think it's not as true. I will definitely admit that I had hoped we wouldn't have to see any of that.
Yes, me too. And I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I don't know that they could have avoided it, but I don't think people making a show about Vikings are willing to avoid it.
It's probably true.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're going to put it in. So.
Mm-hmm. I worry that there are some people that, I don't want to say we're looking forward to it, but expected that so much when they heard there was a show about Vikings.
Yeah.
That they felt there was no way to not put that in there.
That could be too.
But especially this rape, did not forward the plot in any way.
Nope.
It gave you very minimal information about him.
I think it was reinforcing what we sort of started to get in the first episode, which is that he's a terrible person. Mm-hmm. And maybe shouldn't be trusted. But I feel like...
especially by women.
There are other ways that they could have maybe shown that.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I agree, it was unnecessary.
I worry that they put that rape there instead of having him attempt to rape Laghcat, because we don't know the slave. We don't care about her yet.
Yeah.
Because they certainly could have gotten that across with a character that we know.
Yeah.
But we like her. She has name.
Right.
You know, so it's just throwaway women.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah, it bothers me, that part.
And I was cringing because I knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't mean that they're just going to throw it around. I mean, he even said in the monastery's chapel, there are no women. So you know that's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
I hope that that's sufficient for us to know, yeah, he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to the next scene, and everybody's, you know, excited about the ship leaving. Everybody looks really excited. But I couldn't even enjoy that because I was still reeling from Rollo.
Yep.
Just being completely nonchalant about it. Didn't even enjoy it. It seemed so perfunctory.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I don't want to have to think about a scene from closer to the front of the episode the entire rest of it. Mm-hmm. And it stuck with me. Mm-hmm. It's just not necessary.
Yeah, that could have been easily cut from the show, and the show would not have changed. That episode would not have been affected.
Yeah, I agree.
In any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, rape as a plot device is one of my pet peeves.
Ugh. Agreed. It's awful.
They get the compass, and it gets them on the right path. It's working. Mm-hmm. And so they're all very happy, and they seem a little surprised that it's working, but they go with it. So we jump back to the farm for this I thought it was really weird scene that seemed out of place, where Laghcat's telling the story of Jormungand, the serpent, which eats its tail like an Ouroboros. Mm-hmm. And then she is out in the water, like with her feet in the water, looking, I don't know, like she misses Ragnar, I guess.
Yeah. I think
just seemed
I think they were trying to line up her story with Ragnar's journey.
Him being away and how she felt about it.
Well, and him sort of being sort of fighting the sea. Overcoming the challenges of being at sea.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Just sort of like a parallel.
Serpent.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I like that better than mine, I was just kind of confused.
I also like to listen to her talk.
Yeah.
So
I like that actress.
Yeah, I do too.
I think she's Canadian, like French Canadian.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, which explains a little bit of her accent being slightly different than everyone else's.
Yeah.
I don't know if her first language was French or what. But...
And I didn't notice the weird shifting of accents very much this time. It didn't stand out to me like last time.
They have more coaching in between the pilot and the second episode.
Must be. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
more practice.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So we're on the ship, and we see that there is a storm coming. Mm-hmm. And I love watching the storm, because some of it was pretty obvious that they were in front of a green screen. Mm-hmm. And at one point, a big splash of water came up, and it looked like somebody just off camera just threw a bucket of water at all these guys standing on a boat.
Yeah.
And it took me out a little bit just because it was
there were a couple of parts on the ship that it was like, okay, but you guys aren't really on a ship in the water. There were a few, yeah.
That always makes me think of the picture that Aria, what's her name? Maisie Williams.
Uh-huh.
Posted somewhere of when she was on this ship going to Bravos, and it was with the green screen. It was a ship in a parking lot.
Oh my
with a big green screen behind it, and she's standing at the helm.
I have not seen that.
It's a great picture.
Oh, you should definitely post that. I'd like to see that.
It's fantastic. But it's just because it seemed so epic in the show, and then you see it.
What good actors are they that they can pretend that they're actually in the middle of the ocean? And I believe it.
All the CGI makes me think of Gandalf. Mm-hmm. Who plays Gandalf?
Ian McKellen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how he had to do a lot of that by himself?
So when he did the first Lord of the Rings movie, they did a lot of perspective work. Mm-hmm. And then either for the later movies or for The Hobbit, I can't remember which one, he had to do it all with CGI. So he had to sit in a room by himself and act and like he was talking to other people. At one point, he cried on set because it was just so demoralizing to do that. He's like, this is not why I became an actor, to talk to myself.
And I love him so much.
I know. He's so wonderful.
He really is.
His bromance with Patrick Stewart. I cannot get enough of those pictures of the two of them everywhere.
They're so cute.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want them to be my best friends.
Yay!
And we should hang out all the time.
Totally.
Because they're adorable.
Yeah.
Also because Patrick Stewart apparently owns a lobster costume.
Okay.
There's a picture of him in a bath wearing a lobster costume.
In a bath?
He's just in an empty bathtub.
Sure he is.
Apparently I pay way more attention to pictures that celebrities put out than you.
I think that's accurate.
I don't go looking for them. They just come to me somehow. I don't know how it happens.
And for how much time I spend on the internet, that's actually surprising.
If you spent as much time on Reddit as I did.
Okay,
you would come across way more than you ever need to know.
Alright, I don't do Reddit, so I guess that's why.
There are some cool things about it, though, because people will post articles about new scientific advances, and then actual scientists will write about how it's actually real, or there's no way this could work, or the title is clickbait, and here's how this would actually work. So you get some interesting things there.
So you're saying actual scientists post on Reddit?
Fine. People that say they're actual scientists and use terms that I don't know because I am not an actual scientist, so they could definitely be completely lying. So we get to England.
Yay!
Yes. And we're in Northumbria, England, at a monastery, it turns out. We see a bunch of monks illustrating pages. They hear thunder and react like they've never heard thunder before. They all seem very upset about it.
They really do. And it's England. I'm sure they've heard thunder before. Yeah.
There's one particular monk who is very handsome, with the exception of his disgusting hair. Mm-hmm. It's not disgusting. It's just the tonsure. I'm not into the tonsure haircut.
It's very strange.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was wondering. First of all, I couldn't remember what the word for it was, which is tonsure. Always think of the Robin Hood Friar Tuck.
Yep.
With his tonsure.
Yeah.
So apparently it's a sign of humility, which makes sense because it's humiliating. Mm-hmm. And a symbol of the renunciation of worldly fashion and esteem.
So you're just trying to look ugly on purpose, so you don't.
I think so.
To humble you.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. It's really ugly. So, the Vikings that shave the back of their head, are they...
I knew it was going to go there.
Under the sink?
I knew you were going to go there. I was just waiting for you to get there.
I saw another guy who had the same hairstyle on there. The back of his head was shaved and the front had hair.
Mm-hmm. I actually looked up some of the Viking hairstyles as well and found some interesting things. So they don't really know, of course, because they don't have photographs or really drawings much. Mm-hmm. But some of the Viking hairstyles they think happened, like Celts even, the Celt slaves and things that they had. Some of them I saw some drawings that had really weird shaving patterns. Mm-hmm. Like just the back half of the hair was shaved.
Yeah.
It was all very strange. There were some descriptions of hair. Some guy, it said he had long hair except for the front where it was cut above his eyebrows. So they were just trying not to say the word bangs, I think. This man had bangs. And then there was one that said the opposite, where it was shaved in the back and long in front, just like in his face.
Just bangs.
Yeah, it was very strange. And so they also talked about how there are possibilities that some of them grew their hair until they won a great victory. Mm. So very Khal Drogo kind of.
Yeah.
And so the bells in the hair, and they have to cut it when they lose.
Yeah.
There was even a mention of... Oh, yeah?
Well, but that doesn't make any sense, because the son has really short hair in the back.
Well, this is just actual history, what they think.
Oh, so we're going to get, like, factual about it, is what you're saying. All right.
We're gonna think that possibly this happened.
Okay.
The monk, did you notice that the illustration he was doing looked like that kind of stylized dog head that was like the ship's masthead?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that later he saw in the clouds.
Yeah. Oh, he did? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, I have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah.
I also decided that I want that to be my job, is coloring. I just want to sit there and color the pictures on the pages.
So the monks are really kind of adult coloring book style?
I guess.
Well, that was my cheek of the week for my Loch Lamora show.
Adult
coloring book.
Yay!
I'll have to get some more.
Viking edition.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just lots of Bibles. Alright, so the boat is in the storm at this point. Floki is just yelling about how Thor is happy for them. Mm-hmm. Somebody yells out, "Sit down, you idiot!" And then even Ragnar says, "Shut up!" Yes, and then we find out, revelation, Floki can't swim.
Which is crazy.
I would never expect a boat maker to not be able to swim. Also, a Viking. I mean, they spend so much time in the water.
Not Floki, I guess.
Apparently not. They're speaking Anglo-Saxon, which is, it sounds Old English-y-ish. Like, right. I know what Old English sounds like, but what I expect Old English to sound like. Some of the words are recognizable, but most of them aren't.
Right, yeah.
And the lightning hits, they see the cloud that's in the shape of the ship. It's a really cool, and it dissipates really quickly, so you only see it for a second.
Mm.
But Athelstan sees it. Oh, and he goes to talk to Father Cuthbert, who is the voice of reason. Like, this is not the end times, Athelstan.
Right.
It's just a storm. Relax. I mean, he's wrong, but we don't know that.
Right.
And they switch to English. And yes. I like the way that they deal with language in this show. They use English when it's the language that is their native language that they're speaking. They just use English for that. Mm-hmm. And so you heard
took me a little bit,
different people speaking English.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, it got confusing when Athelstan started speaking Old Norse, but it was actually English to us.
Right. So
I was trying to figure out who was speaking what. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was still two different languages.
Right.
We get back to Kattegat. The blacksmith is obviously in trouble. He's worried about his daughter. And they find out, well, he finally admits that he did build the anchor for Ragnar's ship. Mm-hmm. It does this really weird thing where the Earl is staring into the flames with this far-off look while he's talking about how you can sometimes see your future in the flames. And all I could think of was Targaryen kings that are obsessed with fire.
I was thinking the Lord of Light and crazy red dress. Kooky.
Melisandre walks out from behind the blacksmith.
Exactly. Yes,
that
we all need to speak to the Lord of Light and look into the fire and murder our children.
I would watch that crossover.
Spoilers!
Oh my god. So the boat is finally on still water. The ship, or the storm has ended. Mm-hmm. So they're rowing, which seems really ineffective because it looks like the oars are hardly touching the water. Mm-hmm. Which kind of splash, splash. So I don't know how they're going anywhere. But I guess they are, because once they show the guys, they look like they're really rowing hard.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. Ragnar looks really worried because he can't find the sun and the sunstone. I'm not sure why, because he had been able to before when he was in Kattegat showing the stone to Rollo. Mm-hmm. So there's one guy that starts to revolt. Yes. Accuses Ragnar of being in league with Loki.
Yes.
Even says he might be Loki there to lead them on. Mm-hmm. Then Ragnar kills him and releases the ravens.
Yes. And
they're all sad when they hear the birds come back, but it turns out it's seagulls, and they are close to land. Mm-hmm. And then the land is right there. So we see the monks again. And they say that it's a ship full of devils. I don't know how they know that. Does every ship that comes near, is it always full of people trying to invade?
Maybe no
or could it just be a ship
before.
from somewhere?
Maybe. None has ever come. And maybe it's because it was right after a storm.
Ah.
They assume.
Portent.
Bad, I guess.
Yeah. All the men get on shore and look pretty scary. Mm-hmm. And they're all walking up. I don't know if you noticed this, but they're all walking up in this group, stalking up the sand, and Floki's just kind of walking with a swagger behind them, just strutting along.
Because of course he is.
I know, I loved that part. He really stands out. So the Vikings obviously start to kill all the monks. Mm-hmm. Just slashing left and right. Nobody gets to live. And then Ragnar finds the treasure room, which is full of lots of gold stuff. Mm-hmm. And they think it's so funny that they're not guarding that treasure. Right. Except Athelstan's got the Bible.
Well, the book of... What did he say it was? The book
Jonathan?
of John?
There's not Jonathan.
No, but there's a John. Is it the book of John?
Maybe.
It's not the whole Bible.
Right.
But, yeah.
Some scripture.
It's an important book to him.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we find out he can speak Old Norse because he's traveled in missionary capacity. So, of course, Rollo's looking for women. We're all so surprised at that.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that he finds a monk in... Apparently, it's very smelly, so I'm assuming it's some sort of...
In the poo-poo house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poo-poo house.
Yep.
Oh, it probably was like an outhouse or something.
Yeah.
So he finds him. I'm glad that he's the one who gets to touch the man who's covered in poop.
Yep.
It's like, finally, this doesn't make up for everything, but it's gross, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So then we get the standoff with Ragnar and Rollo. Ragnar doesn't want Rollo to kill Athelstan.
Right.
And we find out Rollo is the older brother here.
Right.
And so, eventually, he backs down from Ragnar. Why do you think he did? Do you think he's afraid of Ragnar?
No. I don't think he's afraid of him. Maybe when Ragnar said, "Is this really worth the fight?" He agreed that it wasn't. Because for all of his faults, which are uncountable, he's a terrible person. I think that he does have this loyalty to his brother, and he doesn't want to take a stand against him unless it's something that is really important. And this guy was just another guy to kill.
Yeah. So Floki...
I think Ragnar had a really good idea to keep this guy. He's been places. He knows stuff.
Yeah.
Why would you not talk to him? So I don't know why Rollo's such a jerk.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that he's been places, he can speak Old Norse. What do you see Athelstan being able to do for Ragnar?
Well...
it keeps him for a reason. What is it?
I think part of it is maybe he knows other languages. Maybe. If he's traveled. Part of it, too, is that maybe he can tell Ragnar what's the next bit of water over. What is the next bit of land over? What else is out here? What do they have there? Where should we focus?
Okay.
And I think he's just going to use him as a map. He's just going to get information from him. And I think maybe he's kind of interested in him as this person of this completely different god who valued a book over, gold or silver or whatever. And, part of the reason that they're traveling to different places is to get new things, and that means meeting new people and learning different things about them. And I think the other Vikings are like, pillage, 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 let's get gold. But I think Ragnar's maybe a little more intellectual than that. Maybe he's just interested. Maybe he just is curious. It's going to take a certain curiosity to send you into a direction that nobody's ever gone.
Well, he said I think it was the first episode, not this one, that Odin gave an eye for knowledge, I would give much more.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Which makes me like him a lot.
Me too. I think he just wants to know stuff. He wants to know the bigger world than the world that he lives in. Because he knows there's more to it.
I'm imagining some sort of a librarian Ragnar. Where he finds a library and he learns to read. And he just sits there reading for like 20 years. And
he has glasses and a man bun.
God, it'd be so adorable. It'd just be so cute.
And like a sweater vest.
Can you please draw this for me?
I would love
I need this picture.
To see this guy as a librarian.
I need the Viking librarian.
And I want a pencil through his man bun. And I want like ink on his hands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He still needs some sort of weapon.
And a shield on his back.
Yes.
And a sword on his side.
I love to
Viking librarian.
different comics where he's holding the shield with a pile of books and they're all tipping over.
Oh,
he's using it to move around.
Yes.
Oh, we could make the most adorable cartoon. Okay, you can because I can't draw. But
I don't know if I could draw that.
I'll just give you the ideas and you can draw that. I'm an idea person.
Yeah. Me too, usually.
So, in that vein, Floki discovers paper.
Yay! And
which I love.
Burns it.
I know! He was so fascinated by the paper, so I assume they don't have paper.
Right.
And he tasted it, and then he lit it on fire, and he was just jumping around gleefully as he started the whole fire and just lit all the scrolls that they had.
And so what I'm seeing is Floki as the meme, all the things. Burn all the things! But it's Floki. Just burn all the paper. It's like a small child.
Mm-hmm. What is that comic? Is it Hyperbole and Happiness? Or no, I'm thinking Cyanide and Happiness. I'm mixing with Hyperbole and a Half. That's what it is.
And a Half, yes. That's what it is.
Hyperbole and a Half. I love that.
Yeah. All the things. Burn all the things.
So when they backed up and I saw the whole monastery was burning.
Yes.
I immediately wondered how, like, I guess the level of kind of forensic capability they had back then. What they'd be able to figure out about what happened there, whoever found the ruins.
Mm.
If they could tell who had been there, based on, I don't know, maybe things, I'm sure they had dropped some things. I'm sure that they'd be able to tell that it was pillaged because the stuff that would have been there because it would have, melted or not been burned at all.
And also, gone. I think it'd be pretty easy to see that the fire was started on purpose.
Oh, maybe.
Because it was a pile of paper. Mm-hmm. And that's probably not a usual storage method.
I wonder if they'd be able to, I wonder if they'd be able to tell where it, or if that had been where it started. I don't know how fire investigations happen.
Also, I think it probably depends on how long it burned.
That's true.
And how hot it got.
Okay, so...
Because I'm a fire marshal. I'm surprised you didn't know that. No, I don't know anything.
Comic 1, The Viking Librarian. Comic 2, CSI Kattegat. Oh, sorry. CSI Northumbria.
Yes.
We need 2 different ones.
CSI Monastery.
Yes. That would be so good. Oh, man. All right, so we get to the end. Athelstan is on the boat. He looks very cold. Ragnar smiles at him. Seems kind of sweet. But
and also, Ragnar's not cold.
No, he must just be used to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Athelstan's wearing, what, a cotton monk
I bet it's
vest?
not cotton. I bet it's wool. Yeah.
What do you call a robe? It's not a robe. It's a... But not a vestment.
Isn't it a robe?
Maybe it's just a robe.
Just a hooded robe?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm sure somebody is listening right now going, it's a fill in the blank. You idiots. This is what it's called. How do you not know that?
I'll look it up for the next episode.
We just don't know.
And then we'll know.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so that was that whole episode. Mm-hmm. Next week we're going to watch season 1, episode 3. That episode's called Dispossessed. All right, Rosanna, do you have your top 3 items? What's your category?
My category this week is unnecessary deaths.
Oh, that's a good one.
The first unnecessary death was the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Okay, could we just have punished him? Do we have to burn him from the face down?
Yeah, that's a horrible way to die.
In front of his kids, or kid, just burn his face off.
Well, yeah, she was screaming too.
And he didn't have to die. I mean, did he really have to die?
Yeah. How many blacksmiths do they have to just be burning them whenever they feel like it?
Okay, that's a good point I didn't think of. But yeah, couldn't they have, like, beat him up a little bit or made him run through 2 rows of people throwing food at him? Like the other guy? This seems like an overreaction by the Earl, for sure.
Also, I'm surprised that he didn't tell them that his daughter was threatened and that's why he did it.
I don't think they would have cared. I really don't.
True. Yeah.
So my second unnecessary death was, I'm just going to call him Warrior. Warrior on the boat, because that's what the closed caption called him. Yeah. The one that went stir crazy and was like, "You're Loki, and why did we follow you?" And then he just stabbed him in the neck. I feel like he didn't really give him a lot of opportunity to sort of climb off the ledge there. No warning. Hey, if you keep on with this, I'm gonna have to kill you. He just was like, "Hey, you shut up," and he didn't. So he was like, "Stab you in the neck." I felt that was overkill.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha. And then number 3 was all the monks they killed. Totally unnecessary. Yeah. Why are we killing monks? They obviously can't fight you. They can't keep you from taking...
they're no threat.
Yeah, they can't keep you from taking anything. They have no women. They have no extra anything. They're obviously men of, prayer, not fighters. Why'd you have to kill them?
When they were even making sure they got all of them. They dragged the one guy out from under the bed.
But then they also, didn't they take some of them besides?
Yeah.
Just the one guy? So why do we kill some and take some?
Yeah, how do they decide who's going to be a slave and who's going to die?
Just completely unnecessary to kill all those men. Completely unnecessary. So those are my unnecessary deaths of this episode.
Though that might not be unnecessary now that I think about it. If they're trying to make people afraid of them, and people go to the monastery and find a bunch of dead bodies or bones at that point because of the fire, they would be like, who was here? Someone's terrorized the countryside.
Hey, Nikki. Don't bring logic into this.
This is not the time nor the place.
It was a bad thing to do to kill a bunch of godmen.
Godmen?
Just leave them alone and let them pray. And that's all I have to say about that.
I'm going to have to use that word now. Godmen. They're not monks.
Nope.
They're godmen.
They're godmen.
Nice. Do you have any predictions about what's going to happen next? Let's talk about each person. What do you think is going to happen with Ragnar now?
Well, I feel like they've gotten back on the boat. I'm not sure where they're going. I don't know if they're going to go farther around England.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's why he brought the other guy, to sort of tell him what's around. But I'm not sure what his plan is exactly, except just, at this point, exploration. Because he doesn't even know what there is out there to steal. So, but I think he's excited. I think he's not only excited about finding the land and being right, but about the other things, like we said, that he's going to learn and discover, and his world is going to get much bigger. And I think that he's really down for that. He's like, I want to see what else is here. So I think he's super excited. I think that's why I was smiling at the end, because he's jazzed about it. I think most of the other people are just like, yeah, whatever. Can we get some gold or, I don't know, jewels? I guess. And Rollo's whatever. I mean, I got nothing for that guy.
What about the monk? The god man.
The young god man. I don't think that he is at all happy with this situation. He doesn't want to go. He's probably really sad about his brothers being killed. I feel like maybe this sort of connection that they showed between he and Ragnar is going to try to make us think that they're going to have some sort of a relationship, become friendly, which I guess eventually maybe would be okay, but I feel like he'd have a really hard time getting over this just horrible violence that they brought to his home.
Yeah, he probably has some trauma there.
Yeah, and he's terrified, he's freezing, he might get sick after all this, So I don't know. I mean, I think they might be trying to put it towards them having some sort of a relationship, but
okay,
it'd be a stretch. I think it'd take some time. But I feel like he's gonna stay around for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have predictions about anybody else? Laghcat, the Earl, Siggy, Floki?
I think the Earl is gonna continue to be paranoid. Kill people that probably don't deserve it. I'd like to see more of Siggy and see if she really is more of her own woman than she appears to be right now. I hope that there are more layers to her character. Floki, that guy, he's just going to be around, I think. Just popping up here and there, acting like a crazy person. Because he is crazy. And Laghcat, I don't know what's going to happen to her. Because she's so far away from, the action right now. I hope that the Earl will leave her alone. It's kind of where I'm at there.
You seem really worried about Ragnar's family.
I really am. I am. Because I don't fault him for wanting to explore. And I'm worried that if something happens to his family, he's going to feel like he traded one for the other.
Oh.
And he'll never be okay with it. Because he's obviously devoted to them. The whole reason he's even going, I think, is to continue to take care of them. Also for some selfish reasons, Yeah. For the exploration and stuff. I mean, maybe he'll get to some place in England, he'll think it's really cool. Maybe he'll just move his family there and they'll become English. I don't know. They'll get to wear fancy dresses and have a bath more than once a year. Those people are dirty. Like when they showed them all in Eric's house when they were having the meeting in the beginning, I was like, oh, can you imagine the smell?
Oh no. I try not to.
They're so dirty.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you seem to really connect with Ragnar and his family.
Yeah.
Are you finding that you're enjoying this better this time around? I know you saw the pilot a long time ago.
Yeah, I think getting that second episode in helped. It really furthered the story. Quite a big jump, I would say, from the first one. And so, yeah, I definitely am feeling more and more invested as we get to see them more.
I'm glad that you were liking it. Well, except for the horrible Rollo parts that you're liking more.
Okay, and every time you say Rollo, I imagine an actual Rollo. So, that is also a problem for me. I don't imagine it when I say it, and I don't imagine when I see it on TV, but when you say it...
all you imagine is chocolatey goodness with caramel inside. I
imagine a dirty man's body with a Rollo face with hair. And that is Rollo.
I would like that better.
And if you took an axe and cut into his head, caramel would come out.
That sounds delicious.
Yes. I don't know what it is. It just sounds like that.
It's time for Cheek of the Week. So I'm going to go first. My Cheek of the Week is pretty outside of the whole manly feeling Viking show.
Okay.
Mine is a mermaid tail blanket in honor of the ship.
Yay!
Going to England. So there's this mermaid tail blanket you can get. It's kind of this knit blanket. There's they have them on Amazon in a ton of different colors than child size and adult size. Well, adult woman size, most likely a little smaller than men would be able to use, I think. Okay. But they look like mermaid tails. You put them on. You pull them up and put your legs inside, and you have the little tail at the bottom that flaps out, and you can get ones that are flat or ones that look like they have scales, and they're so pretty. And got one for Mom this past Christmas.
Yes.
And she really likes it, and it was really pretty, and it looks so soft, and it just makes you feel very whimsical when you wear a mermaid bullet tail blanket. I like it.
Those are cute. I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. What about yours cheek of the week, Rosanna?
My cheek of the week requires a little bit of background.
Okay.
So, as you know, but listeners would not know, I live in a very small town. We have a population of less than 20,000 people. Once a year, we have a giant rodeo, and we get people come in from all sorts of places to compete and to watch. And the kickoff of the rodeo is a concert, and every year the concert is a country singer, and I've been to a bunch of them, and they're super fun. And I am a fan of country music, but not exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's terrible.
It's not terrible. Some of it's terrible.
That's why I don't live there.
But last year, they started a new thing. It happens in the summertime, and it's a festival. It's a music festival, and it also is a Pendleton whiskey festival.
Oh.
And last year, the group that they had come perform was the Zac Brown Band, who's a country group. Mm-hmm. But last week, they announced who was coming this year, and I lost my darn mind.
Who is it?
Maroon 5 is coming to my town of less than 20,000 people, and they are doing a concert in our football arena, and I bought tickets for it last night.
Oh, wow.
I'm so jazzed. We bought 4 tickets for me, my husband, and 2 younger daughters. And actually, our older daughter got a couple tickets too. And we're in what is called the party pit, which is the place right by the stage in the grass where there are no seats. It's just...
So the mosh pit.
Kind of, yeah. Right next to they have bars set up around the stands.
Oh.
So you can get to a drink really easily. They have a bunch of food. They have all kinds of cool stuff the whole time. And it's Adam Levine. It's going to be Adam Levine, like, right in my face. I'm going to be able to see, like, the sweat on his face.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this concert. I cannot tell you. I mean, to have a group of that... of that
popularity
caliber. Yes, I mean, they're huge. Everybody knows who they are. They've been around forever, and they're still putting out records, and they're coming to my teeny tiny town. Like we have a Walmart. We don't even have a Target. And they are performing in our football stadium.
I'm going to admit right now, I am not a fan of Maroon 5.
I understand.
Which you're probably not surprised at.
Some people are fans of Maroon 5. Some people are wrong.
I am so happy to be in the rock category, but I'm very excited for you because, that is a big deal for such a tiny town.
And and I think a lot of people are going to travel from surrounding areas to come in and see it. It's just really great for our economy. And, I mean, it's great for a lot of things, but I love Maroon 5. And I'm going to go see him in July, and I am so stoked.
Well, heck, people from Portland might even go there.
Yeah, definitely. People from up in Washington, people from Idaho. I think we're going to have a lot of people here in town for it. It's going to be super fun.
I'm going to stay in Portland and skip the concert.
Boo.
I hope you don't mind.
Boo. Party pooper.
Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you.
That's why we invite you, Nikki.
Hey.
All
right, fine.
All right. Listeners, you can find all of our Cheeks of the Week and send us your questions on our website, somethingcheekypodcast.com.
That's our episode. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at @somecheek.
And you can also check out our other podcast where we talk about the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series, The Lies of Locke Lamora.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
La 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 bum bum bum. Digga da dum, digga da 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 dum.